Welcome back to Mimi's Organic Eats. Today I have a super fun fall recipe for you guys. We are making pumpkin spice latte protein brownies. So I'm partnering with some amazing brands today that I use in my house pretty much every single day. The first one is Peace Coffee, and you guys know I'm from the Midwest, so I love supporting Midwest businesses, but I especially love supporting organic businesses that are working directly with farmers. And Peace Coffee does exactly that, plus they make amazing coffee. So we're going to be using their coffee both inside the brownies and for the glaze. And today we're making eggless brownies. You guys know I love making eggless desserts simply because I think they're more soft and chewy than desserts with eggs. But you also don't have to worry about underbaking if you like super gooey brownies. And for our egg replacer today, we're going to be using pumpkin, of course, because these are pumpkin spice latte brownies, but we're also going to be using chocolate oat milk from my friends at Willa. And I am a huge fan of Willa because it's a dairy-free chocolate milk and it has no stabilizers and no seed oils, which is kind of hard to find in non-dairy milks, and so definitely a huge fan. And then of course we're flavoring our brownies with my favorite New Naturals Dutch cocoa powder. I've been using New Naturals Dutch cocoa powder since my bakery days. We use them at my bakery for all of our chocolate desserts and I still use them at home. They are my absolute favorite. And they recently came out with a grass-fed organic collagen, which we use in our house pretty much every single day. We put it in coffee, we put it in smoothies, I put it in cookies. Today I'm putting it in brownies. So let me show you guys how to make them. So first we're going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees. And now I'm going to fill up my coffee jar because I have to brew a fresh cup of coffee for these brownies. And I worked at a coffee shop for many years when I was a teenager, and the smell of fresh brewed coffee, it just never gets old. It is still one of my favorite things. So first step is we're going to brew a cup of coffee. We're going to need a quarter cup of coffee for inside the brownies, and then we're going to need a little bit more for the glaze. I brewed a 16 ounce because I'm going to drink some as we're making these brownies. So this brownie recipe is so easy, it comes together in just one bowl. I'm just going to use a large mixing bowl with a hand mixer. But if you guys want to do this with your stand mixer or with just a whisk, you can totally do that too. So we're going to add 57 grams of mini dark chocolate chips into our mixing bowl. And so we're going to melt these, and I'm just going to melt these doing 30-second intervals in the microwave until they're completely melted. And now if you guys want to use a dark chocolate bar, you can just chop it up into small pieces and use that as well. But I always prefer to use mini dark chocolate chips because I don't have to chop them, they're tiny and they melt really easily. But the mini dark chocolate chips that I use have no stabilizers in them. This is why they melt easily. So if you guys are using another chocolate chip, you just want to check the ingredients to make sure they don't have any stabilizers because those are going to hinder melting of the chocolate chips. Stabilizers are ingredients like soy lecithin and sunflower lecithin, and these are actually used to help keep the chocolate chips intact. So you're going to have a problem if you're trying to melt them if they have those ingredients. So while the chocolate chips are melting, we're going to add 113 grams of salted butter to a small pot, and I'm just going to melt this over the stovetop. And now if you guys want to melt this in a microwave safe bowl, you can do that as well. Either works. And so you just want to make sure that your chocolate chips are melted completely. Next, we're going to add in our cane sugar, and then our Dutch cocoa powder. And next we're going to add in 113 grams of pumpkin puree. Now it's time to add in a quarter cup of coffee. And then next we're going to add in a quarter cup of chocolate milk. And then last we're going to add in our melted butter. Now I have this extra coffee and I'm going to add a little bit of chocolate milk in to make like my own little mocha latte right here. Okay, now we're going to mix this up with a hand mixer. Okay, so now we're going to add in our dry ingredients. If you guys are baking with collagen, like putting in your cookies or in your brownies, you're just going to add it in whenever you add in the flour. So now we're adding in our all-purpose flour, then our New Naturals collagen, which is going to give these brownies some added protein and also collagen, amino acids, and more. Next, we have 1 teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt, and then, of course, our pumpkin spice. Now we're just going to mix this together with our hand mixer until we have a smooth brownie batter. Next, we will line an 8 by 8 inch baking pan with parchment paper. Now we're just going to transfer the brownie batter to the baking pan. Then you just want to spread it out evenly. Now it's time to bake these at 350 degrees for about 22 to 27 minutes. And the best thing about eggless brownies is if you like them super gooey, feel free to underbake them. Fuel up to make the glaze. So while the brownies are baking, it's time to make up the glaze. So I have 212 grams of powdered sugar, and we're gonna sift it into a medium mixing bowl. You guys always wanna sift powdered sugar whenever making a glaze or icing or frosting. This is going to ensure that you don't have any clumps in your frosting, which you definitely don't want. We wanna have that smooth texture when we're making this glaze. Now we're gonna need, you guessed it, more coffee. Don't worry, I have another crazy dog mom mug that we can brew our coffee into. So now that we have some fresh coffee, we're just gonna add a couple tablespoons of coffee to the powdered sugar. So if you like a thinner glaze, you're gonna wanna use more coffee. And if you like a thicker glaze, you're gonna wanna use less coffee. So that part is totally up to you. Once the brownies come out of the oven, you want to make sure that they're chilled completely before adding the glaze. So if your glaze hardens a little bit, that's okay, it's just because it's been sitting out. Just give it a quick whisk. Now we're just going to take the glaze and drizzle it all over the top of the brownies. You guys don't need any special tools to do this, I'm just using a spoon, but if you want to use a piping bag, that's totally okay too. Now I like to cut the brownies into 9 squares. And there's nothing like a big glass of chocolate oat milk to go with these brownies. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like and leave a comment below. And if you want more fall recipes just like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button and join me next time in the kitchen.